Cari Farver, a devoted mother whose life ended in mystery and violence, revealing a web of jealousy and deception spiring from a man that she had met online. Cari Farver was born on October 13, 1974, in Nebraska. Growing up in a supportive family environment, she was known for her intelligence, ambition, and strong personality. Cari attended school in the area and later pursued a career in technology, becoming a quality assurance analyst. She was a dedicated single mother to her son, balancing her responsibilities at work with her role as a parent. In 2012, Cari entered the online dating scene, where she met Dave Krupa through a dating website. Their initial connection was marked by enthusiasm and attraction. They began seeing each other, and for a time, it seemed like a promising relationship. However, after a few months, their relationship soured, leading to a breakup. The end of their romance was fraught with misunderstandings and emotional turmoil. After their breakup, Cari began dating another man, which sparked jealousy in Dave. Despite the breakup, they continued to have some contact, which complicated matters further. Cari's decision to move on triggered feelings of jealousy and resentment in Dave, setting the stage for the tragic events that were to unfold. On November 13, 2012, Cari Farver was last seen. She had plans to meet up with friends, but she never arrived. Her family reported her missing shortly after, when they couldn't reach her. Initially, there was hope that she might have simply decided to take some time away, but as days turned into weeks without any sign of her, concern grew. In the weeks following her disappearance, Dave began receiving a series of alarming text messages that appeared to come from Cari. These messages suggested that she was alive and involved in a new relationship, but they soon turned sinister. The tone shifted from seemingly friendly to threatening, with messages implying that Cari was in danger or had been harmed. One message said, "I hate you so much that I want to drive a knife in your heart." Another text warned Dave, "I will destroy your life and take your happiness." Dave was confused and distressed by the messages. He shared them with Cari's family, who were also bewildered. The messages led them to believe that Cari might be alive, but they also raised suspicions about who was sending them. Despite Dave changing his phone number and email address, the electronic threats continued. The harassment would escalate over the next 3 years. As the investigation into Cari's disappearance unfolded, law enforcement officials began to piece together the events leading up to her vanishing. They conducted interviews with friends, family, and acquaintances, trying to gather any information that could lead them to Cari. During the investigation, attention turned to Dave. The authorities examined his phone records and the text messages he received. While Dave was cooperative, the strange nature of the messages raised eyebrows. Investigators began to wonder if Dave might know more than he was letting on, but they lacked concrete evidence. As the investigation progressed, police began to focus on Shana Golyar, who went by Liz. Liz had been in a relationship with Dave after his breakup with Cari. She had a complicated history with both Dave and Cari, and tensions between the women had reportedly escalated. Liz's jealousy over Dave's connections to Cari became a focal point for investigators. Liz would also receive these threatening messages. In a chilling turn of events, August 2013, Liz's house was intentionally set on fire, killing all 4 of her pets. In the next coming months, Dave would report that his property had been vandalized. Many of these acts of vandalism involved messages referring to Liz in a derogatory manner. Whenever the vandalism occurred, either Dave, Liz, or both would receive a text or email from supposedly Cari claiming responsibility. It was later determined these acts of vandalism seemed to happen when Dave was losing interest in Liz, and the two were drawn back together by their shared fear or dislike for Cari. In 2015, new detectives in Iowa took over the investigation and looked into the Cari's disappearance and the threatening messages. Investigators were able to identify that Liz was impersonating Cari, but the evidence failed to reveal what had happened to Cari or her whereabouts. From 2012 to 2015, Liz effectively obscured her digital footprint by utilizing various applications and digital proxies to hide her IP addresses. This made it significantly harder to link her online and phone activity to her actual residence. Liz knew how to hide her trail. She used an application that enabled her to send emails and text messages on a certain day and time when she was with Dave. She would schedule these so they would both receive messages from Cari at the same time. Liz would create more than 40 email addresses. When investigators were tracking down the IP addresses to the threatening emails Dave and Liz were receiving, one of them traced back to Liz's house that burned down. In December 2015, the investigation took an unexpected turn when Liz was shot in the leg. She claimed to police that the shooter was Dave's ex-wife, Amy Flora, who had supposedly taken her ex-husband's gun. Liz further asserted to investigators that she believed Amy had been impersonating Cari and was responsible for the harassing messages. However, investigators suspected that Liz would be the one to take the gun and shoot herself, trying to put the attention on Amy. The investigators went along with Liz's lies, although they knew she was their primary suspect. They persuaded Liz to assist in getting Amy to incriminate herself. Shortly after, the investigators received emails that appeared to come from Amy, which they traced back to Liz. She then forwarded those emails in which Amy admitted to stabbing Cari in her own vehicle. While searching Liz's home, detectives found several of Cari's possessions, including a digital camera and a camcorder that held a video of Cari discussing how someone had vandalized her car. The footage was time-stamped just 2 days before her disappearance. Investigators later received another lead when Dave handed over a tablet he had kept since he began dating Liz and Cari 5 years prior. Inside the tablet, he discovered a memory card that had also been in Liz's phone around the time of Cari's disappearance. As investigators went through the images from the deleted files on the memory card, they discovered a photo of a human foot featuring a tattoo of a Chinese character that translates to mother. Later, Cari's mother, Nancy, confirmed that Cari has the same tattoo. On December 22, 2016, Liz was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. In 2017, Liz was found guilty of first-degree murder and is currently serving a life sentence in a Nebraska state prison. To this day, she maintains her innocence and claims Cari's real killer is still out there. Cari's body is yet to be found. Jennifer Pan was born on April 18, 1986, in Toronto, Canada, to Vietnamese immigrants, Koa and Beach Ha Pan. Her parents worked tirelessly to provide for their family, with her dad establishing a successful career as an engineer and her mother dedicating herself to homemaking. Jennifer's parents had high expectations for her and set numerous goals. At just 12 years old, she took music theory and harmony lessons, along with figure skating classes, where she trained almost daily. Her dream of becoming an Olympic figure skater ended when she injured her knee. Jennifer's parents were very involved in her life, picking her up from school and closely monitoring her activities. They did not allow her to date or attend school dances, fearing these would distract her from academics. Even during her time at university, they restricted her social life, and by age 22, she had never gone to a club or vacationed without family. To keep her parents happy, she forged report cards to show straight A's. When she failed calculus in grade 12, her early admission to Ryerson University was revoked. Unable to cope with the idea of failure, she deceived her parents into thinking she was attending university while she actually spent her time in cafes, teaching piano, and working in a restaurant. She claimed to have won scholarships and pretended to be enrolled in a pharmacology program at the University of Toronto. She even bought secondhand textbooks and created fake class notes to show her parents. Jennifer told her parents she was volunteering at the hospital for sick children. However, her parents grew suspicious when they noticed she didn't have a hospital ID or uniform. Her mother decided to follow Jennifer to work and quickly uncovered the truth about her deception. Infuriated, her father wanted to kick Jennifer out of the house, but was later convinced to let her stay. Jennifer would meet her boyfriend, Daniel Wong, while they were both in high school. They connected during this time and began a relationship, which continued even as she faced strict restrictions from her parents regarding social interactions. Their relationship developed despite her parents forbidding her from seeing him due to their different ethnic backgrounds. By 2009, her boyfriend Daniel became tired of the limitations imposed by Jennifer's parents and ended their relationship, starting to date someone else. When Jennifer learned about his new girlfriend, she fabricated a shocking story, claiming that a man with a police badge had entered her home, followed by a group of men who attacked and assaulted her. She further alleged that she received a bullet in the mail, asserting that these incidents were orchestrated by Daniel's new partner. At around 11:20 p.m. on November 8, 2010, the Pan household was the scene of a violent incident that would change the family forever. Jennifer's parents were at home when 3 intruders broke in. The atmosphere quickly shifted from a typical evening to one of chaos and terror. As the intruders entered, they confronted her mother and father. A struggle evolved, and the situation escalated rapidly. The sounds of shouting and physical confrontation filled the house. Her father, Koa, attempted to defend himself and his wife, leading to a violent altercation. During the struggle, her mother was fatally injured, while her father sustained serious injuries in the head, but managed to survive. The attackers fled the scene, leaving behind a devastated home and a scene of horror. Jennifer Pan claimed that she was in her bedroom when the intruders broke into the home and tied her up with rope. She asserted that she was unaware of what was happening until she heard the commotion and the sounds of struggle. Jennifer claimed that she managed to dial 911 after the attack, despite being tied up. She stated that she was able to free herself from her restraints or reach for her phone after the intruders left.
Ma'am? Please just don't ma'am, calm down. What? Some people broke into our house and showed all his money. Okay, ma'am, where are you? What? Avenue Road. Yes. Can you spell the street name for me, please? Dad? Ma'am. Hello? Hello? Yes? Ma'am, I need to know your address. Avenue Road, can you please spell? In Helen Avenue, my dad just went outside screaming. Ma'am, can you spell the street address for me, please? H-E-L-E-N. Someone broke in and I heard shots like pops. I don't know what's happening. I'm tied upstairs.
Police suspected that the family's wealth might have lured the intruders to their home. However, their suspicions grew when they noticed that many valuables remained untouched after the incident, apart from $2,000 cash. Additionally, it struck investigators as odd that Jennifer was unharmed and had managed to call 911 despite being bound. Police also found splatters of blood trailed throughout the house, which was very unusual for a typical house invasion. The night following the attack, police interviewed Jennifer, seeking more information. She quickly admitted the plan was for the intruders to shoot her and not her parents. Meanwhile, her father, Koa Pan, who had been in a coma for 13 days, eventually regained consciousness and told authorities that he had seen Jennifer whispering to one of the intruders in a friendly, soft manner and saw her casually walk around the home. This further complicated the investigation and raised significant questions about her involvement. Jennifer's demeanor during police interviews was notably calm. This concerned officers as it was not the typical behavior of someone that just lost their parents. There were also a few inconsistencies with her story she told police. Jennifer provided vague descriptions of the intruders and their actions. However, her stories and descriptions changed, leading to confusion about the sequence of events. She managed to dial 911 despite being bound. However, investigators found it implausible that she could have done this while tied up, and her explanation for how she managed to free herself by loosening her restraints and finding a way to reach her phone with her hands tied behind her back.
So now you're downstairs, you're sitting in the stairs?
They told me to sit at the bottom of the stairs.
Are you on the floor or on the
floor?
On the floor. Your parents are in the living room?
Yes.
How many people are with you and how many people are with your parents?
One with me, the guy in the corner with my parents, and the third guy kind of
Going between?
Going between. Where's the purse? Sit down. Where's the purse? Sit down.
He's the guy who you describe as the thinner build, medium, and he was upstairs with you.
He decides to tie me down to the banister.
Okay.
That he didn't want to take me downstairs anymore.
So you're now tied to the banister?
Yep, he calls for Cuzzy.
So
he's like, get Cuzzy to give me that string I just gave him. And the next thing I can hear are them telling my parents to move to the basement.
The police did not believe her story, and Jennifer was arrested on November 22, 2010, during her third interview with police. During this session, She confessed to hiring the assailants, but insisted that the original plan was aimed at killing her rather than her parents. However, investigators looked a little deeper into what happened and left them shocked. They examined Jennifer's phone records and found text messages exchanged with her ex-boyfriend and accomplices. These messages discussed the logistics of the attack, indicating that it had been premeditated. Daniel Wong helped Jennifer by introducing her to Lenford Crawford, also known as Homeboy, and helped with their communication. He had financial motives and sought to maintain his relationship with Jennifer. Lenford Crawford, acting as a middleman, connected Jennifer and Daniel with his longtime friend Eric Carty, who was to carry out the murders. By doing this, Lenford Crawford was helping his friends while also earning some money, all with minimal risk to himself since he planned to have an alibi for the night of the murders. Eric Carty then brought in David Milvaganam to join him as a hired gun for the job. They would commit the murders for $10,000. Investigators also found that on the day of the murders, Jennifer would be communicating back and forth with the other respondents, including 2 phone calls with David Milvaganam before the assailants arrived. Police found over 100 messages between Jennifer and Daniel in the 6 hours prior to the killing about their plan. There was evidence from which found that Jennifer let the assailants in or left the door unlocked, as there was no evidence of forced entry into the home. It is believed Jennifer's motive around this plan was to inherit $500,000 and plan to rekindle her relationship with Daniel Wong and move in with him. On April 2011, David Milvaganam was arrested, followed by Eric Carty a few days later. Daniel Wong was taken into custody on April 26th while he was at work, and Lenford Crawford was arrested a month later. They were all, including Jennifer and Daniel, convicted and sentenced to 25 years to life. Jennifer's father, Hui Han, and her brother demanded a restraining order to prevent her from having any further contact with them, which the court had agreed. She is also prohibited from contacting Daniel Wong as well. Jennifer to this day continues to maintain her innocence. In a small, seemingly peaceful town, a shocking crime unfolded that would leave the community reeling and the world questioning the very nature of trust. At first glance, it was just another medical case, one that would soon spiral into a complex web of deception and betrayal. Born in South Africa, John Schneeberger moved to Canada in 1987, where he established a medical practice in Saskatchewan. He was described as charismatic and charming, a quality that contributed to his ability to gain the trust of patients and colleagues alike. In 1991, he would meet his wife Lisa Dillman, who had 2 children from her previous marriage. During their marriage, John and Lisa had 2 daughters together. In 1993, he obtained Canadian citizenship while still maintaining his original citizenship. On the night of October 31st, 1992, John would plan to sedate his 23-year-old patient, Candace, known as Candy, and proceed to sexually assault her. He would use Versed, which is an injection that helps you relax or sleep before a surgical procedure and blocks your memory, although John would use this for his own sickening pleasure. Candy was asleep during this time, but she was still able to recall the assault and reported it to the police. When the police investigated the situation, initially John's blood sample did not match the semen found at the scene, leading to his discharge and getting the all clear. In response to the victim's request, a second test was conducted in 1993, but it also returned negative results. By 1994, the case was closed and John was cleared. Candy was determined to prove that her memories of the assault were accurate, so she decided to hire a private detective named Larry O'Brien to investigate further. Larry took an unconventional approach. He broke into John's car to gather more evidence. To Candy's relief, he managed to obtain another DNA sample, and this time it matched the semen found on her underwear and pants. Excited by this discovery, they arranged for a third official DNA test to be conducted. However, when the results came back, they faced disappointment. The blood sample that had been collected was too small and of poor quality, making it unusable for analysis. In 1997, a shocking revelation came to light when John's wife, Lisa, uncovered a dark secret. He had been repeatedly drugging and sexually assaulting her 15-year-old daughter from a previous marriage. Horrified by this discovery, Lisa took immediate action and reported him to the police. This led to a fourth round of DNA testing. The authorities collected multiple samples from John, including blood, mouth swabs, and hair follicles. When the results came back, they confirmed Lisa's worst fears. All the samples matched the semen found from the assaults on her daughter. During his trial in 1999, John revealed how he had managed to evade detection through DNA testing. He explained that he had implanted a 15 centimeters Penrose drain in his arm, which he filled with another man's blood and anticoagulants. This allowed him to trick the lab technician into taking a blood sample from the area where the drain was located, effectively masking his true identity. He was convicted of sexual assault, administering a harmful substance, and obstruction of justice, resulting in a 6-year prison sentence. Following his conviction, John has his medical license revoked, and his wife would also divorce him. She also reported him to Canadian immigration authorities, hoping for his deportation. In 2003, John was released on parole after spending 4 years in prison. However, he lost his Canadian citizenship, which he had received in 1993 because it was obtained under false pretenses. He had misled a Canadian citizenship judge by claiming he was not under police investigation. In December 2003, Canadian authorities officially revoked his citizenship and issued a deportation order. After being deported, John returned to South Africa in July 2004 and settled in Durban to live with his mother. Interestingly, just a few weeks after arriving, he applied to the Health Professions Council of South Africa to re-enter the medical field. Reports from the Mercury News in Durban indicated that the council was reviewing his application. However, in mid-October, John abruptly decided to withdraw his request, leaving many to wonder about his intentions. As of now, John Schneeberger is believed to be living in South Africa. He has largely stayed out of the public eye, and there have been no recent reports confirming his current activities or whereabouts, so details about his life now remain unclear.